And we are here live from Fridley, Minnesota for the 61st United States Handball Association's Four-Wall National Handball Championships. Brought to you by First Star Sports, where you can up your game at www.firststarsports.com/WPH. You can buy the gear that Nadi Alvarado is wearing right now. He is a First Star Sports sponsored athlete. Nadi Alvarado facing David Chapman. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink, and in the stands we have Rick Hatcher. Let's go to Rick really quick and see what the vibe is in the gallery, Rick.
Davey, there's a lot of anxiety on some side, anticipation. Who's going to win this match? Who's thinking Nadi Jr. is going to win? Let's hear it.
The floor.
How about Dave Chapman? Let's hear it.
Is he in an Irish pub somewhere?
It sounds like Chapman's the favorite in the stands, Dave.
He had one more person than did Nadi. That's Rick Hatcher, who is courtside, and you know, you have to say this. Now, I've been down to the courts here. It is so packed. There are tons of people in the gallery down there. It's very hard to navigate. Rick is having to stand right up near the back wall, and he's going to make his way off to the side as they make the announcements here with the referee. Dave Chapman is giving the ball to Nadi Alvarado, who wins the first serve, it looks like.
These two have played so many times, Dave. This year, Dave Chapman's had the better of Nadi Alvarado Jr. They played in the finals of the Jake Plummer event, which was Nadi's first event back in nearly 2 years. It was Dave Chapman winning easily there, and then they played in the semifinals on this very court, Dave, in November at the WPH Pro Stop, and it was Dave Chapman defeating Nadi in this very round, the semifinals, also very easily. Before Nadi's layoff, it was Nadi Alvarado defeating Dave Chapman 3 consecutive times upon Dave Chapman's return to the game after a nearly 4-year absence. So it was Dave Chapman losing 3 in a row, and now it's been Dave Chapman winning the last 2.
And here's Nadi Alvarado in the server's box. Looks to me as if David Steinberg is the referee for this match.
If you guys have a bad bounce, stop play immediately, or the shot will count.
You recognize what Nadi just did there. He asked the
call it immediately, or the play will continue.
Asked the sideline judge to stand up. He didn't want him sitting down.
Play ball, 0-0.
Score 0-0, first game.
Vault.
The serve is really the engine that drives Nadi's game. When he has that serve going, he's really improves the rest of his game, Dave.
Ball skips in the right corner. Dave Chapman hits a perfect punch.
0-0.
Wrap around, puts Nadi on the defense immediately.
Already, Dave looks like a totally different player than we saw yesterday, Dave. Nadi with a beautiful left-handed back wall rollout.
0-0.
Nadi Jr., Dave, 8-1 in the 2011 pro season. He's lost in the finals to Sean Lenning at the Tucson HBC2 after defeating Armando Ortiz there in the semifinals. Went on to win the LAAC
0-0.
Pro Invitational just about a month ago in Los Angeles, defeating Marcos Chavez there, and then Armando Ortiz. I'd like to see, very much disagree with that call. Shocking call there. And we will take a replay of that after this rally. And you see Dave just peppering the ball down the left side wall.
Point.
Here's that replay.
Here's the avoidable call here.
Yeah, I think that's an avoidable.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe in second glance.
Nadi just happened to walk right at the last second. It wasn't
Replay.
There was contact.
I think Nadi's calling a slide on that side wall there. Heard him say hold it well after the shot, so I think it was a slide on the side wall. It was a...
Well, Dave lifted his hand after he said it, and either Dave saw that broken ball. Nope, sorry. Nadi hits that ball with so much leverage that sometimes it sounds like it splats up there.
Well, you see Dave lacking that great first step that he normally has. He's still coming back from that ligament stretch that he had in his knee. Not a good shot there from Nadi, a great opportunity, and wastes it. And now it's Dave ending the rally with a great back wall kill.
Dave looked like he just flicked that up there. That's not his normal setup, but that ball was so low he had to flip it. Still kept it low.
2-0.
2-0, first game, 2-21, tiebreaker to 11. Men's semifinals of the four-wall nationals. Nadi had Dave pinned, decided to go right back in front of himself. Smart play.
Dave misplaying the return of serve, and Nadi takes advantage with a smooth kill.
2-0. Point.
That was a very easy return of serve there for Dave. That ball popped off the right side wall, and Dave had a nice look at a punch fist to the ceiling and just mishits it.
1-2.
Score here is 1-2. That was a
Point.
short ball. Called point. Dave's going to appeal.
Both agree.
I actually agreed with you, Dave, that it was short. Looked like it clipped the line.
2-2.
Let's take a look at this, brought to you by First Star Sports.
Hard to tell from that angle.
You could tell if we stopped it on that frame. That's the only way.
And Nadi with a skip.
Minute.
Score is tied at 2. Love those instant replays, powered by Zions.
2-2.
Tucson Rolling Shutters, Mintech. And our technical crew executing those. Here's a huge setup. Nadi's already showed us early today that his left hand is available for shots like that.
Nadi taking that ball at about shoulder height with his left and rolling it. Didn't let it drop, but still hit a great shot.
2-2.
Score is 2-2. Wow. That goes to the highlight reel right there.
Well, Nadi gave him a big opportunity there with a terrible serve.
Sometimes when you hear the crowd
2-2.
silenced when Dave Chapman is playing, it's because he's hitting shots like that, and most people are just in awe. They just shake their heads, and that doesn't make a lot of noise. Nice shot from Dave Chapman.
Nadi runs it down.
At this stage, Dave Chapman looks completely different than he did yesterday.
Point. Three-two.
3 serves 2, first game. Dave Chapman to Nadi Alvarado Jr.
Nice pass shot there from Nadi, and that's the shot that works best against Dave, is driving the ball straight down the side walls. Any ball that comes towards the middle of the court, Dave will take advantage of. He'll take most of those shots out of the air. It's those drives straight down the side wall that Dave really can't take over the rally. And that's Nadi with a short serve.
Fault. Second serve.
Nadi with a
Point.
nice 2-wall pass with the left hand, fairly deep.
And you have to think, Dave, if Nadi's able to continue hitting the ball this well with his left off the back wall, he'll be in a great position to win this match. It's just a matter of, can he execute 80% or more of those left-handed back wall kills and pass shots? He'll have plenty of opportunities because you know Dave's going to keep the ball on that left side wall.
Second serve.
That serve from Nadi, which was short, would have been dangerous if you would have got that over the line because it had just enough wrinkle to flatten out. Nadi overhits that ball.
And Dave just catches the sidewall crack, a perfect 2-wall pass. Nadi anticipating the ball coming off the back wall. It clips the sidewall.
3-3.
Score is 3-3. Dave with an underhand lob.
Tremendous dump kill from Dave. Reads that shot perfectly off the right side wall. Nadi hits that with a lot of power. And Dave with that short, compact swing and the perfect spin, rolls it in the right corner.
This looks like I'm watching the replay of the 2004 USHA 4-Wall Nationals from Portland, Oregon. The way Nadi's returning Dave's serves on that left wall and what Dave did after that return. It's almost as if Dave's saying, I'm going to serve it like this, Nadi's going to return it like this, and I'm going to hit it like this. It's going to be a huge setup here.
Went in.
Not exactly where Nadi was aiming there. He catches the right side wall. The ball cracks out and stays down. He's trying to drive that ball straight down the right side wall.
3 serves 5, first game. See how Dave just shovels that return back?
Nadi would have done well to take that shot out of the air.
Overhand tomahawk into the right corner.
And that's Nadi's favorite shot, Dave, is the shoulder height right corner kill. He hits it with the perfect spin, and the ball just stays down in that right corner.
4-5.
You know, you're taught in this game to let the ball drop, Dave, but Nadi hits the ball with such a tremendous reverse, even from shoulder height, that the ball hits that corner and just stays down nearly flat.
I've seen Nadi do that in person, and I asked him why he didn't do that more in tournaments, and he said this is a practice shot, he told me, but I have seen him do it a couple times since. I think as you get older, you get a little bit more crafty. That ball skips in.
And there's Nadi with another opportunity with his left. That time does not convert. That was a chance to tie this game early at 5.
5-4.
And that's a nice reverse from Nadi. Dave reads it. And a smart shot there from Nadi. Nadi waited until the last possible second there for Dave to commit. Dave ran in anticipating a right corner kill or a drive down the right, put himself in front of Nadi on Nadi's right hip. Nadi blows it past him down the left. Smart shot.
That ball double bounced before Nadi got there.
Dave anticipates the reverse down the left. Paddle kills it in front of Nadi. Nadi always telling himself to stay in the box. When he serves, Dave, he has a tendency to serve and drift back, and that costs him, particularly against a player like Dave Chapman that will paddle kill the serve.
That's a replay.
Ooh, that's going to be an argument possibly for Dave Chapman.
Let's take a quick instant replay of that. I actually agree with our referee there. Dave didn't hit the perfect shot there that he needed to hit to end that rally.
5-4.
Here's that underhanded lob serve that clips the sidewall. Nadi has to flick it up.
I definitely think Nadi had a play on that shot.
Point.
Now the score is 6-4. Those type of rallies are the ones that'll wear down those aging legs of Nadi Alvarado Jr.
It's interesting though, Dave.
6-4.
Not very physical playing Nadi Alvarado because the rallies generally are pretty short. He goes for his shots, either makes them or misses them. Most of the rallies are less than 8 shots. We have Gene obviously doing all the stats here, so we'll have the official info on that.
I want to go back to what you were talking about when Nadi Alvarado serves that ball and drifts back. We've had conversations about it. I've talked to his brother-in-law, John Bike, about it. And he said one of the problems with Nadi is that he becomes an observer of his great serve. You know, he stands there and he's mad that he doesn't hit that crack serve, and he kind of forgets that he needs to anticipate the return from some of these top players. He needs to get out of that observing role and assume that the serve is not going to be good.
Dave just looks completely in control of this match here, Dave. It's a totally different Dave Chapman than we've seen in the last 2 months. You watched Dave Chapman play Sean Lenning at the NYAC. Looked a little bit sluggish there, wasn't moving all that well, didn't have his wind, nor was he as sharp. And obviously yesterday, Dave, it was very uncharacteristic Dave Chapman performance. Certainly we give credit to Tommy Little, but it was Dave Chapman just not looking very sharp. Didn't look mentally or physically prepared to play yesterday, and now today he's the Dave Chapman that we've come to expect, very sharp.
No matter how much IT knowledge you have, we can use proven technology to help you with your business. By we, I'm talking about Paul Sorensen, my good buddy, and his company, Synetra, SYNETRA.com, solving IT and communication challenges like yours for over 25 years. Synetra.com. You're watching the men's semifinals between Nate Alvarado and David Chapman. Dave leading 8-4. Nadi taking a timeout, and you see the image of that fellow standing up dead center. That's Dr. Steve August, who was just inducted into the United States Handball Association's Hall of Fame. Right below that and to the screen's left is Howie Eisenberg, one of the greatest one-wall players of all time, also fellow Hall of Fame member.
8-4.
8 serves 4, Dave Chapman serving. A scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC, and a nice timeout from Nadi Alvarado.
A nice fly kill from Nadi there. Nadi not known for taking many balls out of the air. I've seen him do that, Dave, more as he's gotten a little bit older. Another one of those shots that he's added.
4-8. Point.
Nadi fortunate to win that rally there. Dave misplaying that right corner kill that was way up, came just about a foot up off that left side wall.
5-8.
5 serves 8. Nadi Alvarado goes for that crack, almost gets it. Dave just paddles that return back.
And there's that patented shot from Nadi Alvarado. Takes it from about shoulder height there with his right from 37 feet and rolls it in the corner. Dave will probably take a timeout if Nadi scores another point here, Dave.
60.
That would be 3 in a row.
Oh, he goes for it again, and he gets it. Nadi Alvarado takes a timeout. Dave Chapman now is going to probably be forced to take one himself.
And he does. And let's take a look at that replay there, Dave. Nadi, it seems like that ball is traveling right over your left shoulder as it goes towards the right corner, and there's really nothing you can do about it. It's a very awkward spot to be in as his opponent, because you're not used to having the ball coming over your right shoulder, over your left shoulder, excuse me, and then dying in that right corner. Now watch this. Watch how he hits this right over Dave's left shoulder there, Dave. Amazing. And the ball has so much reverse on it that even though it's coming in at that descending angle, it just stays down in that right corner. It's a phenomenal shot.
Amazing shot selection from Nadi, but even more amazing is the fact that he was down 8-4, took a timeout, and now scores 3 unanswered points. He regains the serve and then scores 3 unanswered points.
It's a very unusual spot, Dave, as an opponent to be when that ball is coming over your left shoulder and dying in that right corner. Sometimes the ball is coming over your left shoulder, Dave. They're hitting a 3-wall type of shot or maybe even a ceiling shot, but to react to a kill shot from that position, very difficult.
7-8.
7 serves 8. Just over the line, nice serve.
And Nadi should be taking that serve out of the air, the return, Dave. And there's a big setup. And Nadi doesn't do enough with it. Here's a left-handed opportunity.
Point.
And he gets it there.
Nadi's just money with his left hand today.
That was a little bit of a miss hit. I don't like how he's not letting the ball drop, Dave, with his left hand off the back wall. He's gotten away with it 3 times here early in the first game. We'll see if he can still execute that shot with the incorrect technique late in these games when he'll need it. And there's a great serve, and here's a big setup here for Nadi. And a great shot there from Nadi. You see he just uses his power. You heard Dave Chapman set his feet, anticipated the right corner kill or a drive towards the left, and Nadi drills it down the right side wall.
9-8.
Score is 9-8.
Much like one of these great tennis players, Dave, like Roger Federer, Nadi holds it until the last possible second, forces his opponent to commit, and then he releases with that tremendous wrist snap.
It's going to be a huge setup here, dead center.
Point.
And Nadi just crushes that ball. He didn't take any type of chance there, Dave. You see a lot of players just try and paddle that ball in, you know, softly. Nadi just drilled it, gave him his best shot. That was actually 84 miles per hour. We have a radar gun reading here from Gene Casimoto. Tremendous power.
10-8.
He did it within 8 feet of the front wall, maybe even closer. 10 serves 8. Dave did get a hand on it.
You know, Dave, we mentioned that Dave Chapman looked just as good as we're used to seeing him look early in this first game, and that he was totally dominating. And now it's Nadi playing incredible handball. You wonder is Dave Chapman a little bit fatigued here, or is it just Nadi stepping up the level of his play, or possibly both?
Nadi was down 4-8, takes a timeout, gets the serve back, and 6 unanswered points. This is the first game. 2-21 tiebreaker to 11 men's semifinals of the national championship from the United States Handball Association, and a beautiful pass from Nadi Alvarado.
I think Dave Chapman will run out of timeouts at this rate, Dave, if he calls a timeout every time his opponent scores 3 consecutive points. At this rate, it's Nadi scoring 6 consecutive points. We didn't see Dave Chapman call a second timeout when Nadi got to 10. We'll see if he calls one should Nadi score another point right here. And that's a brilliant serve there from Nadi, and we'll take a replay of that. That was a strange shot. Now it's Dave Chapman will win this rally. Nadi goes down to a knee, and this is the kind of rally that will take its toll on Nadi. And Dave Chapman somehow wins that rally, Dave. I don't think we'll take a replay of that last point as they're going to wipe the floor here. Nadi hits a perfect serve down the right. Didn't think that serve was coming back, Dave, and it was Dave Chapman just barely getting a hand on this. Watch this, and Nadi wasn't prepared to kill the next shot, and he should have been. This is the best serve he set all match. Dave just barely brings it back. You see Nadi actually having to hit that ball behind his back. Let's take one more replay of that serve there, and let's watch Nadi standing straight up. Didn't think this serve was coming back, this return. Let's look at him. You see that there, and it was just that split second of hesitation there, and it cost him that rally. This, Dave, could very well be a critical point in this match with Nadi leading 10-8. He goes down to a knee there, and this is the shot that Nadi's unable to do anything with.
And we're back onto the court. That instant replay brought to you by Zions at Zions.com.
I call a serve good.
It looked like it was right on the line or just over it.
Disagree.
It's a short ball.
So Nadi fortunate there that both appeals officials overruled that call. But Dave, instead of Nadi serving at 11-8 right now on a 7-0 run,
Dave Steinberg said one agreed. Dave caught that. He just got an extra 30-second timeout by going out there and just slowly, methodically walking to that door, taking his time. And that's part of Dave's strategy.
Second serve.
We've seen this a lot over the years. Second serve.
a rally like this, Dave, certainly favors Dave Chapman. And now here's the big setup for Nadi. Nadi lets that ball get a little bit too close to him and can't really extend on it. And he extends nice on that, but just overhits it slightly. And that's a terrible shot, and the rally will be over right here, and it is. That's like money in the bank.
Point.
Dave Chapman at the short line on a back wall setup. Flat kill. Nadi wastes a great opportunity to win that rally just as he did at 10-8 serving.
9-10.
Scores 9-10.
Coming in.
That ball was smoked from Nadi Alvarado.
Listen to that sound that ball makes hitting the front wall. 83 miles per hour.
10-9. Short.
Nadi struggled with his reverse to the left the entire tournament. At one point, Dave, in his first round match against Aaron Garner, hit 16 consecutive short serves to the left. Nadi has a tremendous Z serve. Doesn't get much credit for that second serve, Z serve, Dave, but it's an excellent serve. It's got so much pace on it that it really forces you to react so quickly.
9-10.
Scores 9-10.
That's a good serve there from Dave.
Coming in.
And that's an awkward shot there for Nadi. Nadi comes in, the ball's moving across his body. He's still moving forward with his momentum, and he has enough control of his body there, Dave, to slow himself down and roll that ball out behind himself. It looks like an easier shot than it actually is, Dave. I know you've never actually run up to a ball that was more than a foot away from you, but it's difficult. And there's another beautiful left-hand kill, and we're going to take a quick instant replay of that kill, and let's watch how Nadi lets that ball drop just about to his waist, which is a lot lower than he's let the previous left-hand back wall shots drop. And really, when the ball is at his waist, he's able to come over top of the ball here. Look at this, and just a beautiful shot there from Nadi Alvarado.
Fault.
He has a nice reverse with his left hand, Dave. That's reverse, as we say, is his natural.
And it becomes even better when he's relaxed because he lets that ball drop, and when you let it get lower to the ground over the top, just keeps that ball down, and sometimes if you hit it soft, it will really hop away.
And that was one, Dave, where Nadi needed a little bit more reverse. And there's his favorite shot over Dave Chapman's left shoulder. Flat kill in the left corner. I saw that just about 37 times yesterday, Dave, around this time in the quarterfinals. Didn't enjoy any of them.
It's an unbelievable shot from Nadi Alvarado.
It's an incredible shot.
The problem with that shot, Dave, is our cameras can't catch up to it. I mean, we're focused on him on that left, and he hits it to the right corner that's out of focus. The only way we're ever going to catch it is if we have that wide angle from the back, and frankly, it's hard to catch Nadi with that shot. We apologize, but that's just the way it is. He's hitting across court behind his opponent and rolling the ball out flat from above his shoulder.
The danger for Dave Chapman,
Point.
Dave Vincent, is that if Nadi does get comfortable, he's a totally different player. The advantage Dave has had against Nadi is that Nadi plays tight against Dave Chapman because of all the losses that he's suffered to Dave Chapman. So he goes in there and he's not the same loose, free swinging, shooting player that we see in earlier rounds. But if Nadi gets comfortable and starts letting the ball drop, he's a different player.
Coming in.
Well, Nadi overhit that ball and then gave up on it when he had a chance to still get Dave Chapman's return.
I don't think he actually gave up on that. I think Dave put that in the perfect spot, as far from Nadi as he could possibly hit it. Nadi made a good effort at that shot.
I'm saying that Nadi gave up on it in advance of Dave's shot.
And there's a broken ball. Nadi seemed a little disappointed with that broken ball there, Dave, but really kind of a neutral shot anyway. I mean,
no, I think his disappointment is I think he felt it was broken on the shot prior and didn't say anything. And I know that seems, you know, very assumptive.
It's quite assumptive.
I see after that last shot, he was talking to himself, looking at the referee. He had something he wanted to say. And then immediately within 2 shots, the ball breaks and he looks at himself and shakes his head like, maybe I should have said something.
This could be a big advantage, Dave, for Nadi Alvarado if he's able to earn a quick side out here and come in with a new ball serving. As you know, Dave is a great server. You have a big advantage with a new ball. As great a returner as Dave Chapman is, he'd still be reacting to a ball that's got a little bit more zip on it, you know, anywhere from 5 to 7 miles per hour of extra zip. And it's a little bit disconcerting in those first couple rallies, Dave, playing with the new ball.
Resuming play. 9-13.
You hear the score, it's 9-13. And Nadi with a terrible return, and Dave with a worse shot. And this is just a sloppy rally that Dave Chapman ends with a beautiful controlled tomahawk fist down the right. Both players squandering a couple of opportunities earlier in the rally.
10-13.
And Dave Chapman ends the rally with a brilliant tomahawk drive.
No, Nadi, you went the wrong way.
I agree with our referee, and he said exactly what he should have said, which was Nadi went the wrong way. He did. Nadi was just a couple of shots, I felt, Dave, from really seizing complete control this first game at 13-9, and now it's Dave Chapman climbing back up 13, excuse me, down 11-13, but it could be worse.
Nadi's showing us a lot more of the shots in his repertoire during this one than we've seen in past tournaments. And a dive re-kill from Nadi Alvarado now gives him the serve at 13-11.
We're going to take a quick towel timeout here, and that'll give us a chance to watch the instant replay here in regular speed and watch how Nadi had the shot down the right wall, which he's been using very effectively, but instead goes right back at Dave, and Dave nearly ends the rally with a re-kill. Watch this rally progress here. Nadi reaching out for that shot there. And you see there, Dave, Nadi had this shot down the right. He's fortunate to win the rally there because Dave nearly re-kills that shot with a paddle fly kill.
That replay brought to you by Mintech at mintech.com. Don't know what Nadi was thinking he was going to try to do there because he would have to roll that out almost flat with an underhand paddle, but he hit it 2 feet high.
Zooming play.
Maybe he didn't know Dave was over there.
11.
You know, Dave, most players end up hitting the ball right back to Dave Chapman because his anticipation is so phenomenal. But Nadi's played Dave so many times that he knows where Dave Chapman is waiting for shots, and that's why you've seen him so successful driving the ball straight down the right wall with Dave Chapman on the left. And now Nadi abandoning that Z serve and hitting a power serve behind him for his second serve. Beautiful shot there from Nadi Alvarado. We're going to take a quick look at this shot. This is a very difficult back wall shot here. We're going to take a look at this in regular speed as Dave Chapman just sort of floats an underhand paddle shot. The ball softly comes off the back wall, and Nadi's able to stay with it
11.
and just roll the shot out. And look at this here. This is not an easy shot. A lot of players would take that shot back to the ceiling before it got to the back wall, Dave, but Nadi lets it hit the back wall just about 3 feet high and rolls it from about 38 feet. I think he surprised Dave Chapman there with that shot.
Second serve.
Nadi's completely comfortable around that back wall deep, shooting from all angles.
And here's another back wall opportunity. He kind of short arms that, and it costs him. He's not able to get the torque on the ball with that short arm, and Dave does well to keep the rally alive there. And look at Nadi. Dave Chapman appealing a double bounce here. I actually think Nadi picked that shot up.
A replay on this.
Yeah, we will.
I originally, before Nadi went up there, I said there's no way he can get to it. And then he flipped that ball back with power, which means he must have got all of his hand on it.
We will take a look at this in slow motion here. Right.
One.
Definitely think he got to that ball.
If we can see it right when Nadi hits the ball, there's Dave's flick.
Dave makes a great diving near re-kill.
There's one. Yeah, that's definitely in the air.
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's no question. 2 or 3 inches in the air. One more time if we can catch that last hit right where Nadi hits the ball. You can see the glossiness of the floor is making that ball look like it's on the floor. So don't.
Are you appealing the short also?
Dave Chapman's got a couple of appeals going here. He's like a Lindsay Lohan attorney.
There's one.
He's got 5 appeals going in one rally.
That ball looks good to me. Here's that replay one more time. Brought to you by First Star Sports. Looks like Nadi gets his hand on it.
Any doubt goes to the player. If you're not sure, you got it.
Score is 15-11 here. Scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC.
Fitch fell asleep there for just a second, Dave. He's got his other computer on the Abercrombie website. Big sale there today.
You're trying to make the guy do 4 or 5 things at one time.
Not a good shot there from Noddy. And also a very poor shot from Dave Chapman. Uncharacteristic. Dave had the whole court there. All he has to do is drive the ball straight down the right. We'll take an instant replay of that last shot there, Dave. You'll see Dave Chapman has Noddy pinned on his left, needs to drive the ball straight down the right side wall. Instead, he catches, and this is the shot. It'll come up right here. Noddy totally overhits that, and you see Noddy. Here he is pinned. Dave's got the whole court, and Noddy with a slight miss hit there. I actually think Noddy was trying to go to the right there.
Well, he reversed that ball so much that Dave, I think, was anticipating it to check up. It stayed out. You're watching the men's semifinals, game number 1 between Noddy Alvarado and Dave Chapman. Noddy is in the lead 16-11. AIW's mission is to be the leader in delivering innovative communication solutions which create value for their clients, employees, the community, and shareholders without compromise. And they are available online at aiwprinting.com.au. They are the proud sponsor of the 2012 World Handball Champion, actually the championships in Australia, not the World Handball Championships, but the Australian Four-Wall Handball Championships during the long weekend, which is the Queen's birthday.
I think Dave Chapman's coming to the booth to ask us if he got that on 1 or 2 bounces. We're both going to tell him it was 1 bounce.
It looked like it was 1 bounce from this angle.
1 minute.
Frame to frame. On the last frame, it shows that it was about 2 inches off the ground. But I'm with Chapman that it really did look like that was a 2-bounce shot when Noddy approached it. But in replay, it certainly was better.
Dave is generally on the right path when he's arguing, although he's been overturned on a couple of his appeals here today. But it's Noddy with a pretty sizable lead here, Dave. Leads 16-11 here in this first game. Just needs 5 more points to take this first game. Both players playing at an extremely high level here, Dave. This is the highest level we've seen thus far in the championship.
The reason why this is an extended timeout is due to a glove change. This glove change has been brought to you by Restoration Professionals. From your first call to the final cleanup, their experts quickly restore your property and put your life right back into order. 1 call is all it takes. The pros are on their way 24 hours a day at restpro.com. Restpro.com, sponsor of the 2-minute glove change timeout. Rest Pro, the owner, Tim Labey, won the 45 division by defeating Ian Jensen from Ireland, 21-11, 21-1 yesterday.
Ian Jensen actually winning the 35 singles and losing in the 45 singles. In a first ever, Dave, in the 35 single round robin, 3 players ended with a 2-1 overall record. Ian Jensen winning by virtue of playoffs, points scored against, points scored, other various tiebreakers that they use there. So he's the 35 and over national champion and the 45 and over
Play ball.
national runner-up.
That's the conclusion of the 2-minute timeout. Noddy Alvarado serving to David Chapman. First game of the men's semifinals here in Fridley, Minnesota.
16-11.
United States Handball Association's Four-Wall National Handball Championships and the live webcast courtesy of First Star Sports.
And that time, Noddy a little bit too casual there. Did not have the right opening to hit that shot. Forced that just a little bit, Dave.
Well, you expect him to miss that when he's not fading away and shooting behind his opponent like he did the other 6 successful times earlier today. I mean, that was too easy.
And that's consecutive airs from Noddy Alvarado. That second one, Dave, a big air. Gets Chapman back on the board after a long spell without scoring.
16.
And now Dave is switching to this power serve. Nadi's got a nice left fist return to the power serve. And that's another one of those crafty shots, Dave, that Nadi's used quite a bit, and it's Dave Chapman
Point.
with a beautiful dump left kill on what looked to be a great shot from Nadi Jr. And it doesn't look like the players will take the towel there.
Thirteen, 16.
13-16. Dave Chapman with 2 unanswered points now. Wow, where was Nadi at?
Nadi fortunate that ball just catching the sidewall there. And I like that shot from Nadi Jr. there, Dave. It looks like a low percentage shot, but the spin coming off that 3-wall shot will hit the front wall, left sidewall, and stay down. And Nadi knows that.
Why was Nadi so late getting into our screen here on that serve? Almost like he was not ready. Watch,
16, 13.
watch this replay here. What happened to make Nadi? Oh, I think maybe Dave faked him to the right. I think Dave had him head fake down to the right side.
He appeals. 1 agree, 1 disagree. That's a point.
Nadi Jr. with an ace serve during our instant replay there, Dave.
17.
I was about to say that each time we've gone to an instant replay and Nadi's served, it's been short each time, and we haven't missed anything. But of course, we miss an ace right there. Obviously contested ace because Dave Chapman did appeal the serve,
17,
and
13.
one of the lines people agreed with him, but the other didn't, so the call stands. Nadi does not do well with that open stance left, Dave. Does not have much success with it. And you see Nadi not letting the ball drop there, and it costs him. And Nadi, with sort of a silly shot there with his left hand, that looked like an old man's double shot that he might hit in Spring Valley Lake at the country club.
Well, actually, the ball slid on the side wall. That's what Nadi said.
Okay.
I think sometimes you make those errant
13,
fish shots
17.
as a defensive last second when you're off balance on another head fake again from Dave Chapman, and he got Nadi twice in a row now. Nadi even said something to Dave. You got me on that. And Dave goes right back to it immediately.
Hold it.
I did think that serve was short there.
I saw it as short as well, but Nadi flinched off to the right side again. Dave going to the reverse.
If Dave had just a little bit more zip on those serves, if he was hitting them in the 70s instead of the high 50s, those would be aces, because Nadi is going the wrong direction. And look at that shot from Nadi. Dave is anticipating that shot. He's moving forward, and Nadi hits it with so much reverse and so low that the ball stays down.
17, 13. Short.
Nadi's serve, Dave, has been very ineffective here, despite leading 17-13. That just goes to show you how well he's hitting the ball during the rallies, because he's not getting many setups with his serve. He's had just 2 or 3 aces, which is a low number for him, but he's winning a lot of these long rallies, Dave, and you would have thought, and we did have not a good shot there from Nadi at all. And Nadi goes down to a knee and wins the point. Nadi looked a little bit tight in that point, Dave. But, you know, we've got our chart here of strengths and weaknesses, and you have on the strengths for Dave Chapman long rallies. You think Dave Chapman's going to win the majority of the long rallies, but it's been actually Nadi Jr. that's winning a lot of these long rallies, and that's why he's leading 18-13 here in game number 1, USHA 4-Wall National Championships. First men's semifinal here today. Sean Lenning and Alan Garner to follow immediately on this court.
The score here is 18-13. Nadi Alvarado serving game number 1.
Incredibly, it's Dave Chapman trailing here. He looks just as calm as he does when he's leading 9-1 in a tiebreaker.
18-13.
Just looks unfazed.
Short.
Nadi not hitting the ball high enough on the front wall to carry the short line when he's serving behind himself to the left. He's come up a foot or 2 feet short on nearly every one of those serves down the left, except on the second serve. Gives himself a lot more margin.
Coming in.
Disappointing error there for Nadi. That was a very playable ball. Dave hit a nice shot there, but Nadi was in a position to throw the ball back in play.
Ball.
You see so many short serves, Dave, because if you don't just barely clear that short line, the ball's coming off the back wall, and that's a big opportunity for your opponent. Nice shot from Dave. Dave hits that with a nice reverse. And we'll take an instant replay of that. I think here, Dave Chapman off the back wall here. Keeps his hand extremely cupped and comes under that ball and to the side of it, and that's what runs the ball back down the right side wall and hopping away from Nadi Jr. Nadi completely overhitting this left, and watch Dave's hand
14,
here.
18.
And you see that ball just out of Nadi's reach. Dave Chapman to serve at 14-18.
When Dave does that by going over the top on that reverse off the back wall, you know he's feeling comfortable.
Well, in that case, he's always feeling comfortable then.
Point.
And there's Nadi slow out of the gate there. Thought that would be a ball that Nadi would pick up. And now these guys, a little bit of chatter back and forth, and I wouldn't say it's friendly either.
Well, they've chattered for the last 20 years, and they both play mind games with each other, so come to expect that.
15,
I actually have
18.
Chapman in the mind games department on my chart. I don't know where you have that there.
I actually have Nadi on the mind games, but Chapman mind games with every player, yes, but when they play against each other, I'm not necessarily sure.
That was a huge error. In my opinion, Dave, that shot will decide this first game. Dave Chapman makes that very easy offensive opportunity there with his right hand. The score is 16-18. Dave serving with all the momentum. Now Nadi comes in. A big reprieve there after a terrible shot. Just 3 points from winning this first game and serving.
Let's see how relaxed Nadi is on the serve.
Here's a big setup. Let's see if he lets it drop.
He's mad at himself. He didn't use his left hand. See, and he just said it right there. Didn't turn to my left. Dave says something back to him. That's the mind game part. Dave serving at 16-18.
And Nadi gives the advantage right back to Dave after probably the biggest setup he'll have in the entire match.
Oh, it's a big setup if he would have turned around and taken a left hand, and then he gets right back into the box.
Amazing fist kill return from Nadi Jr. What a shot.
It's like I'm watching Vern Roberts play here. I went there.
Got the laughs from the peanut gallery,
18,
which is
15.
nice.
18 serves 16, the scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC.
Nadi looked like he was practicing his line drill there, a flat kill on the serve.
He did that to lead off the game, too.
Saw that.
That's what we pay you for.
That's a setup. And Nadi is unable to put it down, and now he's on his heels.
Point.
Nadi missed hitting that shot just a little bit. Nadi's trying to drive that ball down the right side, just about 2 feet high. He catches it just a little bit lower on his fist than he anticipated, and that ball rolls out flat. Dave Chapman knew it, too. He mumbled something to Nadi.
15.
19 serves 15. Scoreboard's wrong, sorry. Been sitting here the whole time thinking Chapman had 16 points. He only has 15.
That's actually a big difference.
Nice shot from Dave Chapman right in front of Nadi Alvarado. You know, something that Dave does that's a little different than other players. I think we try to do this, but Dave, instead of playing that side-to-side game, he plays front-to-back mainly. He pushes Nadi back on by passing him side-to-side and then goes up front with a dump, and then he goes back on a pass again, pushing the player forward and back.
Interesting.
Watch what Dave does here.
I like that explanation. I wasn't with you at first, and now I am. And here's the dump.
There's the dump, pushing Nadi forward, backwards, forward, backwards.
A referee calling a replay on that, Dave. I think that's one of the worst calls I've seen thus far in the event. That wasn't even close to a replay.
I disagree with you. I think that was...
Let's watch this here, Dave. Nadi completely out of position. This is
19.
about 3 shots from now. Unfortunately, we might miss a little bit of the next point, but just
all right.
watch this here. Nadi here, stuck here.
One. Little contact there with the left leg.
Nadi created the
Point.
contact. That's called playing the player. Runs into Dave knowing he's going to get the call, knowing he had no chance to pick up that shot. It's a good veteran move, but our referee should recognize that.
I'm with Dave Steinberg on that call. Score
16, 19.
Now it's Dave
16.
Chapman with 16.
16 to 19. It's just like a freebie serve for Nadi. Dave's already been at 16, according to the booth.
Point.
And that ball barely makes it to the front wall.
And that's why you see Nadi
Timeout,
not returning
Junior,
that lob
67.
serve to the ceiling. You see him just sort of paddling the ball back mid-height on the front wall to keep the ball off the back wall, because when you return that lob serve to the ceiling, Dave, it's most of the time coming off the back wall, and you see what Dave Chapman does with it. We'll take a quick instant replay of that in real time, as it's Dave Chapman with a pretty mediocre lob serve that catches the left side wall there. Nadi takes it back up to the ceiling, and Dave waiting for it. Comes off the back wall, and that's Dave's bread and butter here. And you see here, Dave, this ball checks up on the sidewall. Nadi takes it to the ceiling, and that's right in Dave's wheelhouse. Nadi too far back. He's waiting for that Dave Chapman kill shot attempt around the restraining line when he should have been up at the short line. Would have had a good opportunity because Dave didn't hit that shot perfectly, didn't stay down.
This live,
Nadi about 4 feet farther back than he should have been.
the webcast and the replay brought to you by First Star Sports, where you can up your game at firststarsports.com.
Zoom
/ WPH. Dave Chapman serving at 17 to 19. This is game number 1 versus Nadi Alvarado of the men's
17,
semifinals
19.
at the USHA 4-Wall National Handball Championships.
Will Nadi Alvarado have the nerve to close out this first game? You know he's feeling some of the butterflies, and you
Point.
see them right there. The feet stop moving. He's in a terrible position there, and a complete mishit on a very routine back wall shot for Nadi.
18, 19.
When the nerves start creeping in, Dave, the feet stop moving, and when the feet stop moving,
Coming in.
you'll see a lot of mishits. Now, Dave there made good contact with that back wall shot with his left and just barely skips it in.
19, 18.
The technique was excellent, though. We'll see if Nadi can regain that confidence here. A nice serve. Here's a big setup, and not a good shot there from Nadi. Dave resets the rally. Nadi with a great opportunity. Should be serving right now at 20, but isn't. Not yet, at least. And now it's Nadi afraid to hit the ball with his left, seemingly.
Smart play from Dave Chapman. Pushes Nadi back again.
You see the patience from Dave there. Takes it back to the ceiling, and a complete miss hit there from Nadi, and
Coming in.
just doesn't have that same flow right now that he did in the middle of this game, Dave, when he built a nice lead, actually led 18-13 at one point
18,
after trailing
19.
8-4. Went on a very nice run there, and now it's Nadi looking very uncomfortable here, and that's not a good shot.
Hold it, yep.
Both guys a little bit sloppy in that rally there, Dave.
Did the ball get wet?
It's a lot harder to roll the ball, Dave, at 18-19 than it is at 3-3. Any amount of tension, Dave, in your arms and legs, and that ball will not stay down, and there's Nadi sort of reaching out at that ball, still not in a great position to hit the back wall shots. And once again, Nadi with a low percentage
Point.
shot there, the ball coming into his body there and trying to take the ball back down the right, comes up short. Another error. Dave Chapman has only killed one ball in the last 5 rallies, but yet
19,
finds himself
19.
tied at 19 because of so many of Nadi's errors.
Score here is 19 to
Short.
19. Short ball call. Dave will appeal.
Call the ball short.
I thought it was short.
One agree, one disagree. Second serve.
Dave is going to ask who disagreed, I could imagine. But proving me wrong for the 13th straight time.
Second serve.
This is not really where Nadi wants to be.
Well, we saw him win a number of these rallies earlier, and that's an avoidable.
Hitter, Nadi.
That's a good call. Nadi was right on top of Dave the entire rally there, far closer than he needed to be, and I really like that call. Let's do a quick instant replay there in real time, and let's watch Nadi just all over Dave here.
It better be quick because we're
Well, it
serving
will be.
for game.
Look at how he moves right into him. That's an unquestionable
I don't
avoidable
think he's
hinder.
in front of him. I don't think he's in front of him.
We're taking a timeout, and we'll take a look at this in slow motion here, Dave, just for you. But this is clearly,
he's not
in my opinion,
clearly in front of David Chapman. He's clearly to the left of Dave Chapman, and you'll see if
he was to the left and then jumped right in front of him as Dave was hitting. And we'll take another look at this as we have 60 seconds here. Okay.
Let's just watch it. Clearly in front would not be.
Watch where he jumps to the left.
Dave's going to the left. This right here is straight, Dave. The perspective is this way. Dead center. Nadi is off to the left of Dave. Dave actually mishits this ball to the left.
I disagree. I think Dave was going to the left. He'd made his swing already. Nadi jumped right in front of the swing.
No, absolutely not.
If that's not unavoidable, Dave, then I don't know what is.
The only thing I could do is fire you. But we know that can't happen because I'm on Facebook over here and I need somebody to talk. The score is now 20-19 in favor of Dave Chapman, who was once down 18-15. Now scoring 5-1 in points here in the last 6 minutes. And then that crucial avoidable hinder call, which I completely disagree with.
2019.
Thought it was a great call. And this could do it right here.
And it does. That ball hops away. Nadi Alvarado had it in his hand, and then he loses it. Dave Chapman comes back from an 18-15 deficit to win 21-19 here in Fridley, Minnesota. You're watching the 61st United States Handball Association's four-wall National Handball Championships. Here's the replay of that final shot from Dave Chapman, and boy, he really goes under that ball. Normally he goes over. This time he cuts under. That ball hops away from Nadi Alvarado, and you know, what a great time to throw out that natural hook off the back.
Well,
ball.
he sets up Nadi for that natural hop there because he's hit the reverse the entire game, and then when he needs the natural, he catches Nadi off guard and just whips the ball to Nadi's left, and Nadi unable to react to it.
This between game timeout is brought to you by the Yes to Kids Foundation, enriching the lives of area handball players, bringing kids into the game. Donate to the Yes to Kids Foundation. Make a difference. Contact Fred Lewis at hballfred@cox.net. That's hballfred@cox.net. The Yes to Kids program doing some great things, not just in the Tucson area, but around the United States. Also want to thank simplythankful.com if you are creating logos and printing campaigns for your company or business or for personal use. Go to simplythankful.com. Support the sport and support those that are making this webcast come to fruition here in Fridley, Minnesota. Earlier this year, Dave, you were in New York and you had a conversation with some of the top players. Dave Chapman was one of those players. You asked him what motivates you to still compete at the age of 35.
Well, currently I play handball for a living, so in order to keep paying the house payments and stuff, unless I decide to do something else, I have to play. So I'm in this situation, I'm forced to keep playing. But I think the reason you're looking for is I still have a love for the game. You know, I retired for about 4 years, and I really needed to do that because if I didn't, I think my game would have gone downhill and maybe never played again. But after retiring for 4 years and coming back, I definitely have the itch to compete again, and I'm just glad I can still compete at a high level.
That is Dave Chapman summing up why he is still competing at the age of 35. And what are your thoughts on him saying he's forced to do it? Obviously, he still loves this game. We see him around the courts talking to players. He travels the country to do clinics. Does it seem to you that he's forced to come in and play?
Well, it's certainly what he said. I mean, I don't agree with it by any means. But, you know, it was what he said, so it's hard for me to argue with his situation. I suppose.
As a person who interviewed Dave Chapman and all the other players, you find yourself sometimes wanting to come back with a follow-up question to a question like that, and an answer and more of a reply that he gave.
Well, it was more of a softball session, slow pitch. So there weren't any curveballs, any rise balls, as you would know better in softball. But certainly that, was Dave Chapman's take at that time.
Which wasn't too long ago. That was just a few months back. We are at Lifetime Fitness in Fridley, Minnesota. This isn't the only location of Lifetime. They're proud to host the World Players of Handball and the USHA Four-Wall National Handball Championships this weekend, but they're all over the country. They welcome the opportunity to showcase the great sport of handball and the talented players competing this weekend. Find out more at lifetimefitness.com. Also, they have over 30,000 racquetball players in leagues throughout the country, and they track progress and results. They are racquetball and handball friendly. We're talking about Lifetime Fitness. We're going to take a quick break here in the booth and come back in just a few minutes. I want you to stick close to WPHlive.tv and the feed at racefor8.com.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
We saw him win a number of these rallies earlier, and that's an avoidable. Well, we saw him win a number of these rallies earlier, and that's an avoidable.
Second game. Chapman serves. Zero.
And we are back live, 0-0. Start of game number 2, second serve coming up. Dave
Second
Chapman
serve.
wins the first one 21-19 versus Nadia Alvarado.
have to think very deflating for Nadi
Contact.
Jr., Dave. He dominated much of that first game, actually led 18-13, had a number of
0-0.
opportunities, particularly to score that 20th point. Never could get to 20. And much as the case, Dave, in the NBA, the first to 100 wins. In handball, the first
Point.
to 20 will usually win. Dave Chapman got to that magical number and then closed it out with a beautiful
1-0.
back wall natural. And this is really the danger zone here for Nadi, because now it's Nadi off to a very slow start here. Dave Chapman knows when to take his game up to that next level. When his opponent's just a little bit down, he'll build that lead and demoralize Nadi Jr. if he can.
Score here is 2-0 in favor of Dave Chapman.
Dave Chapman on a 5-0 run here, dating back to last game. He trailed 19-18, came back and won that game 21-19, now leads 2-0. Very much in control. Dave looks really at his best in the last 5 minutes here. And he'll take that right back to the ceiling. And a total miss hit from Nadi. It's been Nadi really struggling with the back wall with both his right and left hand here, Dave, at the end of the first game, now early here in the second game. And that was really what carried Nadi to that big lead in that first game, was the tremendous back wall game. And there's Nadi with a huge setup, doesn't put it down. Dave puts the pressure on him, and Nadi hits it right back to Dave. Inexplicable. And there's Nadi with a great back wall shot, and Dave's in the perfect position, and we'll take a replay of this. Just amazing retrieve there from Dave Chapman. Nadi Alvarado hit a kill about 1.5 inches high here off the back wall, and this is one that Nadi should have ended the rally with. Hits it right back to Dave. Dave's on the ground here. Now Nadi hits it right back to Dave. Hard to believe. Dave gives Nadi a back wall look here, and look at that beautiful shot. Dave diving on the ground, puts just enough on it, and then there's Dave with a punch fist fly kill.
Amazing athletic performance from Dave Chapman right there, and that whole rally goes on to a highlight reel. 2, 3 amazing shots really from Dave Chapman in that rally. Finished off with that tomahawk right-handed fist to the corner, which is still hard to execute.
Actually, Dave regaining his composure. He was on the ground twice there, gets up and has the awareness to take the ball out of the air from shoulder height and punch it into that right corner.
4-0.
It's now 4-0 here. And this is not the spot that you want to be, Dave Vincent, when you're blow a big lead there in that first game, and that's a skip from Nadi.
Point.
You blow a big lead there in that first game, Dave. It looked like Nadi would take that first game, leading 18-13, really outplaying Dave Chapman at that point.
5-0.
And now Nadi finds himself down a game and 5-0 in the second. That's basically the equivalent, Dave, of losing the first set and being down a break in the second.
Hitter.
It's not the spot where, you know, you want to be. You don't see Nadal lose too many matches, Dave, up a set and a break.
You missed that one, clearly. The last avoidable you called, he pulled it into me. You're going to call avoidables, call it.
Now,
This section agrees. Probably everybody else does too.
now Nadi just frustrated, and really that's just acting out on frustration from his own play, because there was certainly no avoidable in that last rally there, and you could hear the frustration in Nadi's voice. He's coming unglued just a little bit, and you can see that with his shot selection.
5-0.
That's the first thing to go, Dave, when you're rattled, is the shot selection. All of a sudden, you're hitting a lot of desperation shots, Hail Marys.
Coming in.
That time, Dave, a big mistake. Dave does not want to give Nadi Alvarado good looks right now. Nadi Alvarado is just a couple of good.
Dave's appealing a bad bounce on the light. See what the referee gets out of his line judges here. That's a tough one for line judges to track.
Out, linesman did not see a bad bounce.
I thought Dave just missed hit the ceiling shot too close to the left side wall, and the ball came back to the middle of the court. But it's Nadi Jr., Dave, if he can put together a couple of good swings, get his rhythm back and get his confidence back, Dave, and his swagger, he can get himself back into this game. But if Dave stretches this lead to 8 or 9-0, 10-1, it's going to be very difficult, even if Nadi does get the feel back in his game, to erase that kind of deficit.
Nadi serving 0-5. I think Nadi might have gotten some of that frustration off his back by yelling at Dave Steinberg. You can tell that when he brings up the avoidable from the previous game that it still hasn't completely left his
Well, that's why
mind.
I disrespectfully disagree with you there, Dave, because I think he's still showing a lot of frustration. Nadi is not the type of player that plays better when he's angry. And that's a very frustrating point for Nadi to lose there, because
coming in,
he's at point-blank range there twice, unable to end the rally. Dave Chapman all of a sudden moving like the Dave Chapman that we've known for the last couple of years, the Dave Chapman that's taken over the #1 ranking, not the Dave Chapman that we've seen in the last event in New York, where he really was moving gingerly, moving forward very gingerly. I think now, Dave, he's starting to trust that knee and starting to realize that he can make that explosive first step forward and make the diving gets and re-kills. Yesterday, we didn't see Dave move well at all at any point in that match.
The United States Handball Association has many more upcoming national events this year, including the one-wall juniors, three-wall juniors, one-wall championships, and three-wall national championships. The junior tournament will be July 14th through the 17th in New York. Juniors for three-wall will be July 21st through 24th in Venice Beach. The national one-wall championships will be scheduled for August 3rd through 7th in Brooklyn, New York, and the three-wall championships in September 1 through 5 in Ohio. Go to the USHA Handball website and check out their schedule of events and enter and play with the United States Handball Association. Right now, let's go courtside to WPH correspondent Ashley Moeller with Mike Steele, president of the USHA, on hand. Ashley? Ashley Moeller is with President Mike Steele.
Having a little technical difficulty there, Dave. We'll get that interview going for you shortly. Right now, it's Dave Chapman leading 5-0 here in game number 2. Dave Chapman with a great comeback at the end of game number 1 to win 21-19. We play first to win 2 games. Right now, it's Dave Chapman leading 2-0. Excuse me, 5-0 here in this second game after winning game number 1.
0-5.
0 serves 5.
Not a good serve there from Nadi. You see that ball just bounce into the sidewall.
You see on that shot there, Dave hit that ball to the backcourt and immediately hit it up front.
It was sort of a front to back and left to right at the same time. He had it all there.
It's something that you should focus on when watching Dave Chapman play. He's just not a side-to-side guy, but he does all 4.
Point.
But just a complete shank there from Nadi Alvarado. Looked like tin cup there on the range before the U.S. Open. Hit the ball on the bottom of his hand.
Nadi Alvarado, sponsored by First Star Sports at firststarsports.com/WPH. Dave is a little frustrated here because he's wondering what is going on with the ball. He knows that he loses this point if that ball is replaced. I think
that's actually not true. If the ball is replaced and it wasn't broken, he does not lose the point.
Well, what I'm saying is that I thought Nadi was looking at that ball because there might have been a slight tear or a break in it, but it looked like the ball was just wet. It's a replay of the last point called by the referee.
I guess Dave broke it with that fast-paced lob serve. Just crushing that lob serve at about 8 miles per hour.
The score will be 5-0, not 6-0. Nadi found a split on the ball, took it out. Dave was just kind of looking in wonderment, like, what's going on here?
It's part of the rules, but it's frustrating there for the server because clearly it had no effect on the shot from Nadi. Nadi just totally shanking the ball.
But if that ball would have come out quicker off the front wall on that shot, he might have gotten to it. Might have been just a little flat up there.
I understand what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I certainly understand, and that's why the rule is always a replay.
5-0.
5-0, second game. Dave Chapman wins the first, 21-19.
You see that ball is very lively. Nadi just barely grazes the ceiling, and it comes way off the back wall on that service return. Perfect corner kill there from Dave. Uses the spin of Nadi's killer shot attempt and redirects it. Now it's Dave Chapman on a 9-0 scoring run here.
Here's a huge setup.
Dave will get the same shot here, and he won't make a mistake with this one, and he does, though. Dave has 2 back wall subs with his right hand in between the restraining line and the short line. Doesn't put either of them away, which is very fortunate for Nadi Alvarado. And Dave hits the ball right back at himself, and will replay that rally.
Nadi anticipated that pretty well, though, even though Dave mishit it.
That's a beautiful shot there from Dave. Doesn't quite keep it down, though, and Nadi stays with it. Ball bounces into Nadi's sweet zone there.
The score is 0-6 on the scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC. Zions at Zions.com. 0-6. That's a short ball. We've already had 2 broken balls here in the semifinals match.
Actually, 4. 4 broken balls. 3 in the first game. 1 already early in the second game.
Point.
There's a mishit from Dave. Dave anticipating that back wall shot well from Nadi, but Nadi with a little bit extra zip on the ball, and Dave unable to get the big part of his hand on it.
1-6.
You know, Dave wears those extra large padded gloves with the liners underneath, and it looks like his hands are about a 4X. They're actually not that big, but with those gloves and all that armor on Dave, it looks like he's got these boxing gloves in his hand.
It's like he's Barry Bonds up there with all that armor.
I think that reference is a little bit less obscure than my tin cup reference, which didn't go far. Not a good shot there from Dave, and Nadi wastes a good opportunity, and he won't waste that.
Coming in.
It's good that the referee allowed them to play through that. Nadi took it with his right hand. If he took it with his left, I can see maybe a screen called. Never know. There was some congestion over there.
1-6.
I think the score is 2-6.
1-6.
It's actually 2. Dave Steinberg making a mistake here. We'll see if Dave Chapman corrects him, and he does.
2-6. Sorry, Nadi.
Referee apologizes to Nadi Alvarado for having the wrong score. 2-6 is the score here. That's short.
Second serve.
Not a good return from Dave. This ball sit up, and there's Nadi with that beautiful right corner, chest high kill. Dave moving a little bit slowly to pick that shot up. Quick first step there from Dave would have put him in a good position to re-kill that shot.
Now Nadi talking to the referee here. Earlier this year, you had a chance to talk to the top players, and one of those players is a guy missing from this tournament that would have been trying for his 7th straight national championship, Paul Brady. You asked him if he expected to be in handball and for the rest of his life, and if it's going to play a major part in his life, and this is what Paul said.
like you say, it'll be difficult to say, but I think it might be on some level. To what degree, I don't really know. I think Gaelic will be probably a big part in terms of management and coaching. And also, obviously, I'd like to do some more coaching and things like that in handball when I finish, but it's not something I speculate on too much. I just concentrate on the here and now, and you know, trying to win as much as I can when I'm capable of doing so.
That's Paul Brady as we go back into the action here.
It's a hard question to answer, Dave, for any professional athlete in the midst of their prime in their career. You know, you put so much into it, and you don't really predict what kind of involvement you might have after you're done playing. Some people stay in it forever, others, you know, take a long break, and others may stay away from it forever. You see guys in tennis like Yvonne Lendl stepped away from the sport after retiring for 15 years, didn't pick up a racket. Now here he is playing again, enjoying the sport again. Others like John McEnroe just go straight from playing on the pro tour to playing in the seniors and announcing, and always a part of it. And then other guys like Pete Sampras take 4 or 5 years off and come back to it and enjoy it again.
Nadia Alvarado serving at 3-6, short serve.
Second serve.
I can tell you that Paul Brady is sorely missed this weekend, but
not so much by the competitors, though.
The reason why he's not here is because he shattered his finger playing Gaelic football.
Point.
And you heard in that interview when he said, I'll be, you know, doing some stuff with the Gaelic Association or the GAA. He was talking about coaching for Gaelic football or being associated with Gaelic football, not necessarily handball.
4-6.
4-6. He is a two-sport athlete and a star at both.
Ball.
That was a short call.
Second serve.
Second serve.
Much like you, Dave, a two-sport athlete, dinner and dessert for you.
Thank you.
I take it as a sport because there's a judge involved that pick up their cards and say whether it's a 0 out of 10 performance. I don't know if we have Ashley Moeller courtside yet with Mike Steele. Ashley, if you are there, you can step in at any time.
Ashley Moeller, one of the pro players here, and there she is in our shot there. The lovely Ashley Moeller. She's one of the top women players, lost yesterday in the round of 16. Disappointing result for her.
And let's go to her courtside. Ashley?
Thanks, Dave. Hi, I'm here with USHA President Mike Steele. Now, Mike, we're here on the 4th day of Nationals. How do you feel the progress is going so far?
Well, they're running a great tournament.
Timeout.
Good
Dave
time
is
for a
calling his
timeout.
timeouts right on cue, and things are running very well. This is a marvelous facility.
Now, how do you feel about the turnout? There seems to be lower numbers, but it seems like the stands are quite packed here.
Right. We think the economy has something to do with it, and I personally think a lot of handball players just didn't recognize Fridley, Minnesota. But once they find out what kind of a tournament this is and the venue, they'll be here in numbers.
All right, and that's USHA President Mike Steele. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Ashley. You know, Mike is right about that regards to the name Fridley, Minnesota. It doesn't stick out, doesn't ring a bell, but that's why we try to say, you know, Minnesota or Minneapolis, St. Paul, or, you know, you throw in the Twin Cities name when publicizing this event, because it's really, frankly, only like 5 minutes away. We're just in a little sleepy suburb over here, but they have the Mall of America here and some major attractions going on in this beautiful city of Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Great job there by Ashley. I think we have our new Aaron Andrews here with the WPH. Phenomenal job reporting there. You know, also, Dave, I don't think people realize just how nice Minnesota is. It's a wonderful place here. We've had tornadoes, obviously, in the first couple days, but it's bright sunshine here today, and there's so much to do here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, Dave. They've got the new target field for the Minnesota Twins, obviously the Mall of America, the University of Minnesota, and just beautiful lakes here, Dave, and so much to do outdoors and indoors, and obviously you've got the best handball players in the world to watch, so this is certainly a destination city, as a lot of people found out here this week. I know, Dave, you haven't left your room yet, but...
Can you hear me? 5-6.
I have my game face on, so I go to the courts and then go back to the hotel.
But you did try to figure out a way to do the commentary straight from your couch at your hotel room.
Yeah.
Haven't quite figured that out yet.
Well, the live-in suites wouldn't allow that, the cabling to come down the hallway. It's hard to get the cables in the elevator. 6 serve 6. The scoreboard is 6 wild here. With that,
Nadi steps his left foot down too soon there on that first setup, and that's just a terrible miss there for Nadi Alvarado. He's on a great run there. He's tied the score at 6 with a golden opportunity to take the lead here in the second game, and he skips a very easy setup. Only had to hit that ball about a foot high with Dave Chapman pinned on his left, and just went for a little bit too much and misses the shot. And that's a nice backwall shot there from Dave. That's the shot that won Dave the first game at 20-19. A backwall kill with a nice natural on it, hops the ball away from Nadi's left hand.
7-6.
And look at the anticipation there from Dave. Good no call there from our referee. And Nadi just clips the sidewall. And not a good shot there from Dave. I'm not sure why Nadi would take that ball right back to Dave.
it's almost like Nadi was trying to get some kind of contact to reset this whole thing. But now it looks like they're clean. There's a huge setup for Dave here. Don't know what happened during that end part of that rally.
Well, that 3-wall shot from Nadi with Dave in the front court, really the worst shot you can hit against Dave, because he'll fly that shot every time and really either end the rally or put you in a terrible position. You can see Dave, and it has to be frustrating for Nadi Alvarado fans, both in the stands and watching at home. He's got all his shots necessary to win this match, but it just seems like when he needs to make the big shot, when he has an opportunity to take advantage of the match, or like we saw in the first game, end the first game, he just hasn't been able to convert.
Nice shot from Dave Chapman right there. Now 3 unanswered points.
What's nice, though, Dave, here this year is that our #1 seed being pushed, yesterday going to a tiebreaker,
9-6.
today winning the first game 21-19. Our #1 seed the last 2 years in this event, Dave, has not allowed any of his opponents to score in double figures in any game during the championship. That obviously being the gunner, Paul Brady. Not a good backwall shot there from Nadi.
Replay.
Both these guys, Dave, very much under control. You don't see any display of emotion from either of them. We saw a lot more emotion from Dave Chapman as he started his comeback just about 3 years ago. We saw a number of explosions, really.
9-6.
But he's curtailed those in the last year. Actually, pretty entertaining for us here in the booth.
Coming in.
That's a strange miss from Dave Chapman. Almost looked like he didn't put his feet set in the right spot that he teaches in his
6-9.
clinics. Almost like shooting across his body with that left.
Actually, it's interesting, Dave. He certainly teaches in his clinic to square yourself up to the sidewall when you swing, but when he hits an overhand left, he hits with his shoulders open in an open stance. You see that right there,
yeah,
Dave.
You're right, you're right.
And I don't think he knows that he does that. And I'm sure if I told him, he would tell me I was wrong. But
nice get right there from Dave Chapman.
The video does not lie. And you see there, he hits that shot with his shoulders open to the front wall as well, as he does there.
Nadi back, Nadi forward, Nadi back, Nadi forward, and this time Nadi puts it away. Dave Chapman playing that front-back, side-to-side game with Nadi. Just wearing down his opponents. Dave does not mind if this match goes 2.5 hours long. See, Nadi's back. Dave keeps him in the backcourt.
Surprised Dave doesn't end the rally here. He tries to get a little bit too fancy. Pays the price.
Fault.
And just has been tradition, every time we go to an instant replay, it's Nadi serving a short, making sure that we get right back on track. Don't miss any of the action.
Here's second serve. Nadi has to go right back toward the middle of the court every time Dave hits the ball, and then Nadi gets pushed in the back, but that doesn't matter this time. He just flips it to the front corner.
I saw that shot about 13 times yesterday. Very frustrating. You push Nadi back into the back corner. He just sort of catches that ball. It rolls through his hands slowly, catches that right corner, and just dies.
8-9.
8 serves 9. Good serve right there from Nadi. Dave puts it back to the front wall.
Nadi almost tripping on his own feet there, but still hits a pretty good shot. Should have been a fly kill there for Nadi, but you see Nadi drifting back, and he takes care of it with a back wall kill regardless. But let's take a quick instant replay of that last point. Nadi pushes Dave back into the back left corner. Dave just floats a ball back up over his shoulder right in the middle of the front wall, and rather than Nadi stepping in with Dave well behind him, look at this here. Now, Nadi could have taken 2 or 3 steps in there. Instead, he lets it come off the back wall. I think a much more difficult shot to put away because now he's got Dave Chapman in front of him rather than behind him. He executes it, but that's a lower percentage shot.
The score is now 9-9. Nadi going for the crack, gets a short serve. The WPH is proud to partner up with First Star Sports for the live webcast of these USHA 4-Wall National Handball Championships. First Star Sports, where you can up your game.
I'd like to see Nadi take that shot out of the air as well. That was a 3-wall shot that just sort of hung there.
That's avoidable.
I agree with that call from our referee, Dave Steinberg. We'll cue up the instant replay quickly here. Dave actually moving in. He didn't necessarily do it on purpose, but instinctively, Dave, he's trying to get back to the center of the court. That's the third avoidable call here in this match from our referee. Let's take a look. I agree with this call. Maybe not, actually, in
Dave
retrospect.
wasn't moving into it. I'd like to see the argument from the referee. He didn't move into it, but he certainly was in the way of it.
The ball was on this side of me. He hit me on that side. He hit me going down the left. No, it didn't. The ball hit me right here, Dave. No, it's not. That's the ass. Ass back.
David, he's right. David, you're wrong and he's right.
There goes Jimmy London. Let's watch this here. Chapman is not moving. He moves after he gets hit, right?
I agree with you. I don't think that's an avoidable. Nadi had the full right side of the court there. He just, yeah, I mean, that ball was going to hit the left side wall. Nadi, Dave, there's nowhere else Dave can go. Dave's absolutely right in this situation here. That might have been sort of a makeup call. Dave Steinberg maybe feeling badly about calling the avoidable at the end of the first game on Nadi, maybe feeling like he's got to give Nadi the benefit of the doubt there, but certainly that was not the right call.
I believe the score is 10-9 with Nadi in the lead, and then he rolls that one out.
And I knew Dave would call a timeout there. You see Nadi get that pep in his step right there. A little bit upset and also happy at the same time with that great backwall kill Nadi Jr. was. And Nadi will stay in the court here, which I think is smart. He's got that burst right now.
If Ashley Moeller is courtside, we will go to her. It might take some doing every timeout, every time the players leave the court. It makes it more difficult for her to navigate through there with that microphone. It's so congested here in Fridley. But we'll definitely go to her next time she's ready.
You make it sound like the microphone is so cumbersome that it's hard to walk with it.
We had to do a hardwired microphone, and therefore it's a little bit more difficult for her to walk around it with that cord in front of all the people in the front stands there.
I see.
It's not using the wireless, so we're not walking onto the court here, which would be, you know, almost the best solution at this point.
So I stand corrected.
Something
you've never done and never will.
We talked earlier about First Star Sports. Nadi Alvarado is one of their sponsored athletes. You can find them online at firststarsports.com/WPH. You can up your game with their products. They have this new T3 that I've been trying out this week, and I think it's one of the reasons why I've been barricaded in my hotel room, is that it's so warm and cozy. It makes you feel warm when it's cold outside, and then when you're outside in the heat, it makes it feel cool. I don't know how they do that, but it's been scientifically proven. It's firststarsports.com/WPH. Go online, check it out. Nadi Alvarado serving at 11-9 here, was down once.
11-9.
6-0. Now making 11-3 run, Nadi Alvarado is.
Great shot from Dave.
And you knew exactly what he was going to do before he hit it.
There was really nothing you could do about it. Dave really got low there.
9-11.
Moment of silence.
And that moment's over now. Dave Chapman taking that ball almost between the legs of Nadi on that return, and Nadi kills it up front.
That was a great shot from Nadi Alvarado. He follows that ball almost as though he's taking a picture of the ball to keep his feet moving and his body turning through it. That's the key on that revolving door shot, Dave Vincent. Interesting serve there from Nadi, and he goes for it. Dave Chapman has to stay down there, and you see our referee making the great call, allowing the play to continue. That was not a dangerous situation. Had Dave Chapman stood up there, that is an avoidable hinder. Dave stays down, Nadi sort of steps on top of him and just blasts the ball really right back at himself, but Dave completely out of position here. And let's take a quick instant replay of that play there, Dave, because a lot of people at home thinking, you know, maybe that should have been a hinder, but in fact, Dave Chapman diving in, hitting the ball right back to himself, has to stay down. And when he does, Nadi Jr. just steps over top of him. Look at that beautiful shot. Great call by our veteran referee there.
Now in New York earlier this year, you talked to Dave Chapman in a live interview in the New York Athletic Club in their trophy room. And you asked Dave Chapman, what does it mean to have your name on the short list of the best players ever in the game? And this is what Dave Chapman had to say.
It means a lot. You know, it means a lot to be on the short list of one of the greatest players. I still have some goals in the game. You know, obviously, I think today's players are a lot better than the players back, you know, Hershkowitz and Jacobs and whatnot. But you know, at their time, they were the greatest. And you know, if you put them into today's world, they probably wouldn't be able to compete. But maybe if they came up with us at a young age, they would.
Interesting comment from Dave Chapman, maybe even slightly controversial too for those that are from that generation.
I actually thought it was one of his most candid answers.
We're back into action here, 12-9. Dave Chapman is returning of serve. Nadi Alvarado loses the first game 21-19, but up in this one after being down 6-0 at one point.
Sloppy rally there from both guys there. Dave wasting 3 opportunities in the front court. You don't see Dave lose too many rallies with Nadi in the front court like that. Dave?
Yeah, that's going to be a change. Nadi, how are yours?
Nadi Alvarado probably won't have to change his gloves, but Dave Chapman does get a 2-minute glove change. Let's go courtside after
2 minutes on the change.
In about 30 seconds from now, we have Ashley Moeller making her way over to one of Dave Chapman's close friends, the fellow that he played yesterday, Tommy Little, in the quarterfinals. Ashley Moeller is there. Let's go over to Ashley really quick. Ash?
Thanks, Dave. Hi, I'm here with Tommy Little, who played Chapman yesterday in the quarterfinals, losing in a tough tiebreaker. How do you feel that Chapman's game is coming along, making it to the finals nearly every tournament he plays in?
He definitely raises the level of competition. Everybody's out to get him. You know, when you're number one, everybody wants you. I think his game is, he's playing very patient this tournament. He's executing very well on opportunities, and Nadi's playing pretty patient himself. Yesterday it's really hard to play patient against him. You almost have to play him at his own game, and anything remotely close to a setup, you just have to go for it.
So next game plan to beat him in the tiebreaker, what do you think you should do differently?
Next game plan is to not even go to a tiebreaker, but just I think when you get up into that 10 to 15 point range is when you really got to buckle down and take your focus to another level against Dave, because it's that's when it's crunch time for him too, you know.
All right, thank you, Tommy. Back to you, Dave.
Very good question and answers from Ashley Moeller, who's a natural.
Very insightful from Tommy Little as well, Dave. I think we both learned a little bit there listening to Tommy Gunn, the legend, the 20-year Pro Tour veteran.
All interviews on the live webcast brought to you by Tucson Rolling Shutters. Tucson Rolling Shutters is locally owned and operated in Tucson, Arizona, but they've got distributors all throughout North America, in fact, the world. TucsonRollingShutters.com, bringing us these live interviews with Ashley Moeller and the canned interviews, as they say, back in the business, with the players that you interviewed back in New York at the AC.
This match, Dave, nearly 2 hours long, and we're just halfway through the second game. At this pace, Dave, should we go to a tiebreaker, we could be looking easily at a 3-hour match.
You might even see me order a pizza. That's how long it's going to be for us here in
Well,
the booth.
actually, they have an automatic delivery every 2 hours here to you at the booth, so yes, we'll be seeing that pizza man any minute now.
You're watching the 61st United States Handball Association's Four-Wall National Handball Championships live from Fridley, Minnesota.
Time.
Alongside my broadcast partner, David Fink, for this match. Dave, you watched the players so far here, and you've seen Dave look like he dominated in the very beginning of this, and now Nadi Alvarado is coming back. What are your thoughts?
Well, there's so much changing momentum here in this match. I've counted Nadi out a couple of times, particularly at 0-6 here. He trailed, and now it's Nadi totally dominating here. This is much like what we saw in the first game. Nadi building a lead in the middle of the game, and now it looks like it's Dave Chapman who's down and out here.
15-9.
Score is 15-9 on the scoreboard, powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC. This could be a setup for Dave. No. Oof, beautiful shot from Dave Chapman.
That's a slight opening for Dave Chapman from Nadi Alvarado, and Dave takes advantage. The door was just ajar, and he kicked it open with a beautiful right corner kill.
Nadi Alvarado's on a 15-3 run right now. Ooh.
Coming in.
That shot was so easy, Dave, that Nadi almost missed it. He had a huge opening there. Really, anywhere he hit the ball within 6 inches of the front wall would have been good.
15-9.
The mental strength here from Nadi Alvarado, Dave, really impressive. And there's a beautiful ace and a fist pump from El Tigre. But Dave, as you know, you're playing one of your great rivals, someone that's had
16-9.
a lot of success against you. He comes back and beats you in a heartbreaking first game loss, and for Nadi to stay in here in this match and actually come back and now dominate this second game really speaks to the fortitude and mental strength of Nadi Alvarado. It shows the preparation, not only physical but mental, that Nadi Alvarado Jr. has done to prepare for this championship, because we've seen these two players play, Dave, twice this year, and both times really Nadi Alvarado Jr. went away in the second game, really just sort of threw in the towel, and you know what, didn't have that same fight in him. Here he is, not only with the fight but with the game and the fight.
Score now 18-9.
18-9.
I thought Dave was going to appeal that serve. It was one of the best serves Nadi had so far in this tournament, and he goes back to back. That one was short. Nadi has found sort of a groove over here on the right side. Even though that's a short ball, he's getting Dave to be in a very suspicious angle trying to hit that ball back.
Point.
Nadi's feeling it right now, Dave.
And now it's Dave Chapman will just let this game go, I believe, and just try and save his energy for the tiebreaker. We've seen Dave do this before, where it looks like he's down and out in the second game. He comes back in the tiebreaker, has one of his energy bar / drink mixes, and he comes back in there, Dave, and he seems to find a resurgence in the tiebreaker. And there's another beautiful ace there from Nadi Alvarado, and you won't see Dave Chapman calling a timeout here. He'll just let this game run its course, and he'll take his 5 minutes here between games and try and regroup, try and slow this game down again.
Fault.
There's a short ball.
And win that race to 11.
Second serve.
It was Dave Chapman beating Nadi Alvarado the last time they played, Dave, at the USHA Nationals, and Dave puts that in the ground on purpose, defeating him in a tiebreaker in the final there to win his 8th national singles title in a very close 11-7 tiebreaker at the Multnomah Athletic Club. And here we are on our way to another tiebreaker here between these two incredible greats in the game.
The score here in game number 2, Nadia Alvarado taking Dave Chapman 21-9. In the previous game, it was Chapman winning 21-14. That means Nadia Alvarado will get that first serve in the tiebreaker in about 5 minutes from now. Dave, you know, some people were talking about the poor turnout here. You know, 286 players at the Nationals. I think this is a very competitive field, and you could see Nadia Alvarado and Dave Chapman, and you have seen them play in the finals of a national championship before. From this level, from this point on, from the semifinals, going toward the finals here, how do you judge this compared to past tournaments? I know Paul Brady's injured. He can't play. Tony Healy has not really made the formal announcement that he's retiring from the sport, but he is injured, and he is out of the tournament. With those two excluded, from this point on, is this fair with all the rest of the tournaments?
Well, as of right now, at this moment, Dave, we see the 4 best players in the world in the semifinals here at the USHA Nationals. Paul Brady obviously has been the best player, but right now he's injured, so he isn't among the top 4 players with one hand. Tony Healy obviously retired right now. There's a couple of other Irish guys, Dave, that are probably in the top 8 or top 10, but as of right now, these are the top 4 players in the world. So regardless of whether we had 2,000 players here or just 30 players here, these are the best players right now, and the best player will win this championship.
I don't know if Ashley Moeller has a chance to go courtside. We'll see if I get the thumbs up from Fitch. When he gives me the thumbs up, that means it's time to go to Ashley Moeller, who is our sideline reporter for these 4-wall national championships and the webcast provided by and brought to you by First Star Sports at firststarsports.com/WPH. First Star Sports, where you can up your game. Nadia Alvarado is one of their sponsored players. Let's go courtside now to Ashley Moeller, who is with us here at the 4-wall nationals. Ashley, what's going on?
Hi, Dave. I'm here with Armando Ortiz, who lost in a close quarterfinal match yesterday against Alan Garner. Now, Armando, we saw you in the court just now giving advice to Natty. What do you say to him?
No, I just said keep his momentum going, and folks just continue focusing on his serves, and play smart. Chapman's, he's there, he's playing up front, playing the front of the second game, so he just saves energy for this tiebreaker. So it's gonna be good. We'll see what's gonna happen.
Let's hear a prediction from Mondo. What do you think is going to happen here in the tiebreaker?
Well, the looks of it at the end, Nadi was strong, so I don't know. We'll see. Looks like if Nadi serves him out, it's going to be tough for Chapman.
All right, thank you, Mondo. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Ashley. Courtside, she does a great job. Ashley getting Armando Ortiz, who is no slouch. He just recently played Nadia Alvarado twice in tournaments, one at the LAAC Spring Classic in Los Angeles, and then right prior to that was in Tucson in the semifinals of the HBC Part 2, and he knows Nadi's game, but he's sort of giving the advice to Nadi that Nadi gave to him throughout his young career so far, which is stay aggressive, go out there and serve hard, and stay focused. But I think ultimately what you need is to know that someone like Armando Ortiz is giving advice to you, and you have somebody in your court.
Certainly great to hear from Armando, and I thought very respectful of Armando to go in the court. He doesn't get too technical with Nadi. He just goes in there and says, look, stick with what you're doing. Your serve is really working. Stay aggressive, and that's all you want to hear if you're Nadia Alvarado. Nadia Alvarado is here alone this week. He didn't come with his wife or his dad, and it's nice to hear a familiar voice. Even though Armando's a youngster, he looks up to Nadia, and Nadia certainly will respect his game, and just to hear that positive encouragement from somebody like Mondo who knows the game, and he's not in there telling Nadia, you got to bend, you got to take, this shot off the back wall with your left hand and drive it into the left corner. He's very general, very positive, and I think that's excellent reminder. We'll see if Nadia Alvarado checks his phone here between games. Sometimes he does talk to his team between games, either his dad, Nadia Alvarado Sr., the great El Gato, or John Bike Jr., his brother-in-law. But right now I think Lonnie looks like he's in a zone. He stayed in the court. He's very obviously congested around the court area, but he's staying in the court, trying to maintain his focus and try and just maintain that same intensity and drive that he had to pull away in that second game, actually outscoring Dave Chapman 21-3 after Dave Chapman took a 6-0 lead. Yeah,
sometimes having that close moral support is a big thing. Just knowing that you've got one person that is rooting for you in the stands and having them come in, and somebody that you also respect, because Nadi does respect the talents of Armando Ortiz, as does you. You're watching the 2011 61st United States Handball Association Four-Wall National Handball Championships. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Dave Fink. First Star Sports is bringing us this live feed today over the internet at race48.com. Talking about the Race for 8, we will start in October with the Jake Plummer Hell of a Handball Bash. That's the first tournament that we'll have. We'll go right into the U.S. Open 2 weeks later. In November, we go into the Yes to Kids Foundation Race for 8 stop number 3 in Tucson, Arizona. And then after that, the schedule fills out all the way to the very end. 8 stops and then a chance at the Players' Championship in Seattle, Washington. The full schedule is available online. Go to our homepage at wphlive.tv or go to race48.com and find out more about that tournament. Race48.com.
And don't forget about the Vegas 3-wall ball. That's not included in the Race for 8, but it's a great prelude to the Race for 8, Dave. That's a hybrid 1-wall, 3-wall game that we expect over 1,000 participants combined there with racquetball and handball.
And paddleball this year, plus increased big ball brackets. If you play big ball, this is definitely going to be your home. They have a challenge. Big ball players think they can bring more big ball players than the small ball players.
0-0.
0 serve 0.
Not a good start there for Nadi Alvarado. Not a good serve. Brings the ball off the back wall. Really dissipates a lot of his momentum there, even though it was just one shot from Dave. Now it's Dave back in the service box. He'll move slowly.
Dave going to a different serve here.
This is the serve we saw Dave use in the tiebreaker against Nadi at the Portland Multnomah Athletic Club to win in 2004. He's got Nadi off balance now, and a nice pass shot there, and Nadi
point
a little bit slow and ginger there, chasing that pass shot down. Didn't make too much of an effort for that shot. A little bit surprising. It looked like he could have flipped that ball into the back wall or even hit the ball over his shoulder to bring it back in play, but just sort of let the ball go. Now it's Dave Chapman leading 1-0.
Nice return from Nadi right there. Dave just punches it back to the ceiling. Wow, look at that shot from Nadi Alvarado with the left, deep 38 feet on a line to the front wall.
And you have to realize there, Dave, that Nadi Alvarado Jr. is receiving serve there, so if he doesn't connect on that shot, he's actually losing a point. So it's a high-risk shot here.
But that sums up his career. Look at that replay, powered by Zions.
We didn't get to see that last point there, but it was Nadi Alvarado Jr. diving, trying to pick up a Dave Chapman kill with the right fist and unable to get his hand underneath it. And it's Dave Chapman earning a quick side out.
The scoreboard is powered by Zions. You can catch them at Zions.com, XYIENCE.com, just like it reads on the scoreboard, and on Facebook as well as Twitter. Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC.
1-0.
1 serve 0, game played to 11. This is the men's semis. The winner will face either Alan Garner or Sean Lenning in a match that comes up next. Look at that shot from Dave Chapman.
Point.
Unbelievable.
It looked like Dave didn't have a play at that ball, and at the last second he stretches out, not only picking the shot up, but re-killing it. And Nadi hit a great shot there, Dave.
It's unbelievable, but then you've seen it 1,000 times over his career, so I guess it is believable. 2 serve 0.
And you notice, Dave, that Dave Chapman has not used this serve at all throughout the match. He actually saved it for the tiebreaker. Nadi with nice instincts there, knowing Dave was out of position. He takes the tomahawk fly kill.
And you have to think for a split second that when Dave Chapman pulls out that serve,
0-2.
Nadi has to go back and say, gosh darn it, he remembered that from 14 years ago or 7 years ago or even 20 years ago, because that's the reason why Dave is doing this.
Not a good shot there from Nadi. That could have been an avoidable on Dave, but lets the play continue. Now both players very close. And Dave with a fake out there. It looked like he was going to take that ball back to the ceiling. Nadi on his heels, and then Dave, sensing Nadi on his heels, drives the ball into the right corner.
I think Nadi was wanting the referee to call some type of screen.
Well,
See how he's just, that's not a shot that.
Nadi has to be frustrated with himself there, Dave, because he had so many great opportunities in that rally and just didn't put the ball down. Here's a back wall setup for Dave. And this is the point in the match, and that's a beautiful flat kill, Dave, where Nadi's legs have been known to get a little bit weak. We'll see if he has enough in those legs to score 11 points.
0-2.
It'll be one of the hardest things he's ever done in his life if he does.
The score is 0-2.
Not only, Dave, the physical toll that this match has taken, but the mental strain of playing against your arch rival, someone that's beaten you far more than you've beat them. Nadi actually never beating Dave at this championship.
Coming in.
And that's the kind of shot we saw Nadi missing at the end of the first game when he had a good opportunity to win that first game.
Wow, that was a terrible either miss hit or the ball met his hand right at the same time.
Just a total miss hit there. Dave put a little bit more on that lob serve.
3-0.
Hit it a little bit harder. You know, you change the speed there, Dave, and it's a little bit of a different shot.
Don't forget, Nadi was down 6-0 in the second game, and he outscored Chapman 21-3. So he can make an impact, even being down by 3 here.
Don't forget, Toddy Silveira came back from a 6-0 deficit in the finals of the national championships to beat Dave Chapman 11-6 in 1995.
0-3.
0 serves 3. We're going to 11. Wow, nice shot from Dave Chapman. Goes around the revolving door.
That's the third terrible serve Nadi's hit here in the tiebreaker. His serve so good there at the end of the second game. He was serving primarily down the right and catching that crack, and now he's going back to the left. He's overhitting it.
3-0.
The ball's coming around that revolving door, and Dave Chapman's just making easy work of it. Perfect shot from Dave. A pretty good backwall shot there from Nadi. That shot works well against almost anybody in the game, but Dave Chapman anticipates it. He waits on the hop, and he redirects it with that paddle kill into the right corner using the spin from Nadi's natural.
4 serves 0.
Nadi really struggling now with this Dave Chapman lob serve to his overhand left.
It's like Dave has just really slowed the game down here.
Dave Chapman's lob serve has gotten considerably better here. That's a brilliant shot from Nadi Alvarado.
Dave put that in a pretty good spot. Nadi just has a little tiny door that he steps into off that back wall. The ball comes down straight. Nadi takes a step back and then flows with it with the front.
0-4.
To the front wall. That ball is a kill shot, right corner. 4-0 is 0-4 here is the serve. Misses the crack.
Still a good serve, though. He's got Dave behind him. Here's a setup. Nope. Not a good swing there from Nadi. Scooped that ball rather than extending on it. And that's a brilliant shot there from Nadi Alvarado. You see Nadi gets his feet set there, really snaps his elbow and wrist through that swing. Much different than the first back wall shot that he just scooped about 10 feet high off the front wall. And let's watch this shot here.
Watch what Nadi does when he takes this. He bends his knees right here. He says, I'm going to go down and I'm going to kill this ball.
Beautiful snap on that shot. And that's a shot that Nadi needed. He needed to get himself on the scoreboard here. That's another, that could have been an avoidable.
Nadi. You're right in front of him.
That ball hopped so big.
I actually disagree with this call here. Nadi backed up just a little bit. We'll take an instant replay of this. I don't agree with this call. That's the 4th avoidable called here by our referee, Dave Steinberg. That has to be some sort of record.
Watch this ball. It hopped out so far that Dave has to make the adjustment.
Dave has the whole right side of the court there. I agree with Nadi in this situation. Dave lobbies for this call by looking right at our referee. Watch this here. Dave's got the whole right side of the court there. I just think that's a terrible call in that situation. And I agree with Nadi Alvarado.
The movement of Nadi, he actually came into Dave's way and then moved back to the left and still got hit by the ball. And that's a tribute to the huge reverse that he put on that ball that checked into the right wall and popped out.
Nadi overhitting that back wall shot. That's the danger, Dave. You get a little bit upset. Now you see Nadi just overly aggressive. You see Nadi just overhitting the right hand.
I think I'm going to have to call that.
Uh-oh. Nadi's lobbying, and he gets a call here.
Our referee now really struggling with the pressure a lot more than the players at this point. He's made 2 very questionable calls here in the last 2 rallies. We didn't have a great look at that hinder call as Dave Chapman pinched that left corner.
That. He had a clear shot to pick up the ball on the dive.
I disagree with that.
Let's see this here.
Yes, it was.
And you see Nadi, being the veteran he is, plays Dave. He runs into Dave on his way to the ball. He didn't have to run into Dave there, but he creates the contact there. It's up to the referee to determine whether the contact had any impact on Nadi actually retrieving the ball. I don't think he did. And I've seen Dave hit that shot 100 times, and that's not a gettable ball from the position Nadi was in on the court.
Dave says to the referee, I know I was in the way, but was that a hinderable ball?
4-1.
Referee said yes it was. Dave said okay and walked into the service box.
I think Dave just planting a little seed there for our referee that when he hits that shot again, that should not be a hinder. And that's a beautiful shot from Dave. And that's the problem for Nadi Alvarado and any player that plays Dave. When you clip that side wall, you've pretty much lost the point because Dave will direct that ball into the corners at will.
5-1.
5 serves 1 here in the tiebreaker. We're going to 11. Dave Chapman serving.
Some congestion there between the 2 guys.
No, Dave Chapman called it. And there's going to be a side out and a towel timeout as well. You're watching the 2011 61st United States Handball Association 4-wall National Handball Championships and the live webcast provided by First Star Sports. Did you know that the Inter-City Handball Association has been helping teens learn and enjoy handball for the past 20 years? Well, you do know that because you've been involved with them for the past 20 years. Send in a donation today and think of the ICHA.org or the ICHA when you're planning your tax-free donations at the end of the year or right now. ICHA.org. Hit the Donate To button that is located on their website and really do help the youth get into and learn the sport of handball. ICHA.org.
Resuming play.
Now we're back into play.
This match has now eclipsed the 2-hour mark, Dave. Very long match by handball standards. We only played 2 out of 3 games.
Second serve.
Nice
Nadi
shot.
goes down to one knee, and that's the shot his brother-in-law talks about, that sliding on his right knee. That's why he has that knee pad there, having enough body control and able to stay parallel there with his right elbow. And look at that shot. That's just beautiful to watch.
Unbelievable shot from David Chapman there. Excuse me, Nadi Alvarado. Dave Chapman made a good shot prior to that. Nadi comes over and gets down on one knee to hit it.
When Leroy Neiman makes his painting of Nadi Alvarado Jr., that will be the pose. Nadi down, sliding on that right knee and killing the ball straight down the right side wall. Just an amazing shot.
You mean Elvis Grant?
Excuse me. I stand corrected.
But it would be nice if both did one.
I'd like to have a copy of both. Hang them right there in my living room and bedroom.
2-5.
That would look really good in your mobile home park. 2
Oh.
serves 5, tiebreaker, and this is a short ball from Nadi Alvarado. It might be the highlight of the mobile home park.
Could be.
Second serve.
Oh, that ball just reversed out,
Point.
Dave. Just enough to throw Dave off. Do you see that ball reverse from Nadi?
Dave waited for that reverse. He was in a great position there and just barely missed hitting that shot. I don't think the hop had too much to do with Dave missing that shot. Much like a great hitter, Dave Vincent, Dave Chapman waiting on the break and took his shot. And there's an amazing serve from Nadi. We'll see a timeout here from Dave Chapman.
Ball might have broke, though.
I don't think so.
And if it did, you might not see a timeout.
I actually don't think it broke. That was just a laser from Nadi Alvarado. What a serve. One of the best we've seen all match. Look at this serve. Just squelch out there.
Timeout. 60
And Dave,
seconds.
Dave does take his timeout. He takes about 20 seconds there sort of examining the ball, and then he calls the timeout. So this will actually be about a 1.5-minute timeout rather than the minute timeout. He wants to use every available second to take advantage here.
And during this timeout. We're going to go to Ashley Moeller, who's courtside with our referee, Dave Steinberg. Ashley?
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with the ref, Dave Steinberg. Dave, how'd you get the heavy duty reffing this pro match?
I was given it because the other person did not show.
And how do you deal with the pressures of the crowd and the players giving you looks and all that?
There's no pressure on me. I just make the calls as I see them.
Alrighty, and that was the ref, Dave Steinberg. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Ashley. That's true. There is no pressure. If you look at it from that angle, he just makes it as he sees it. There's no pressure.
That's a tremendous answer. Dave Steinberg is very much calls it like he sees it. That's how he lives. If you ever spend any time with him, he'll just, you know, tell you whatever he thinks.
Play ball.
That's how he is. That's what
he calls it the way he sees it.
Score is actually 5-4, 4-5, excuse me.
4 serves 5. Now Nadia Alvarado, once down 1-5, has a 3-point run.
I'm surprised, David, we see Nadi go behind himself to the left. He's had so much success serving to the right. Each time he serves to the right, he looks a little bit more comfortable going to the right. Then inexplicably goes to the left, and I don't understand it. No, not the right shot there from Nadi, but Dave leaves it up, and somehow Nadi unable to take that extra step. That was a big opportunity there for Nadi after a poor shot on the attempted kill in the left corner.
5-4.
Score is 5-4. Look at that shot from Dave Chapman, making it 6-4. If you want to learn that shot from Dave Chapman, go to his handball website at davechapmanhandball.com, and you can get the instructional video that features that shot frame by frame. He is one of the sponsors of the webcast, in fact. 6 serves 4. Look at that get from Dave Chapman. He stays down, lets Nadi take the ball. Nadi hits it back to Dave, who almost gets it back to the front wall.
Very fortunate there for Nadi, as he's got Dave on the ground. All he has to do is hit the ball down the middle of the court or down the right side of the court. He hits the ball right to Dave and almost costs himself a huge point there, as Dave Chapman, from the seat of his pants, nearly rolls out that short hop. Not sure if that was intended. It looked like he was intending to hit that ball back down the left. Maybe he thought Dave Chapman had more of an opportunity to get up than he actually did. I think if he had our vantage point there, Dave, you would have known Dave was trapped there.
4-6.
4-6 is the score.
Let's see if Nadi goes to the right here. That's his best serve, and he does. And gets sort of one of those squirrely returns there. Does well with it. Like that shot there from Nadi. Here's a big setup, and he takes that out of the air. I'm shocked there, Dave. That was a nice backwell opportunity there for him. Generally, you don't want to take the ball. That hits the speaker up there. But generally, Dave, you don't want to take the ball out of the air from 30 feet when it would be a huge backwell setup. The ball will come out to about the short line on a backwell shot, and you have a much better chance to end the rally from there.
That ball hit the speaker in the back court. Now, we've been at some events where they play the ball off the speaker.
That's a replay. 4-6.
Don't get me started about that, please.
4 serves 6. Now, what would have happened if we had to just play off the speaker? Wouldn't the crowd go nuts right now?
And Nadi goes for a shot there, and he goes down to, almost goes down to one knee there, but actually stays on his feet. Thought about going down to a knee.
Let's check out the replay on this.
Might have grazed the knee.
I think he actually hit it with his knee here.
Almost.
Almost both knees. That instant replay brought to you by Zions. Score is 5-6. This is the tiebreaker of the men's semifinals in the pro division. Not the Alvarado and Dave Chapman. They played each other for over 20 years on the pro tour.
And again, goes to the left, comes up way short. Even when he's made that serve to the left, Dave Chapman's defended it at will. I'm very surprised Nadi doesn't just stick with that serve to the right. As you know, Dave, if you keep serving the same serve, you get in a much better rhythm. And Dave goes for the fly kill on that Z serve. That was the right play. Didn't do enough with the return. And Nadi with a complete miss hit. You see Nadi rushing himself there. Doesn't let the ball drop. He's still moving his feet. And that's the shot that we saw cost him there in the first game when he had a nice lead, shanked a few balls with his left, and that ultimately cost him that first game.
6-5.
Score is 6-5.
And that's a great left there, and you hear Nadi pumping himself up there. Dave overhitting that serve. I mean, that's a huge setup for Nadi from about 25 feet with his left hand. That ball comes off the side wall and sits on a tee for him.
Hey, you've watched Nadi play for your whole career. Have you heard him pump himself up like that? I mean, maybe one or twice.
Maybe once or twice against Paul Brady, particularly at the Casey Lawler Cup or the Simple Green U.S. Open 2006, 2 great matches.
But he just doesn't do that. And now it's tied at 6.
Well, he is El Tigre, and we see Tiger pump himself up on the 14th or 15th green after a big eagle.
6 serve 6. Tigers do roar every now and then, and that ball just dug out by Dave Chapman. I don't know how he got that ball back.
That's an ace against any other player. Not only does Dave Chapman pick it up, but he re-kills it. Devastating there for Nadi. Nadi really on a nice roll there, too, and it looked like he'd scored the 7th point, but Dave just getting his hand underneath that, not only getting it back, but flat killing it. And that's a terrible serve. Nadi unable to put it away. Dave puts it back into the back court. And here's a good opportunity for Nadi.
Dave stuck his hand out.
That's a hinder.
Dave stuck his hand out. Nadi had the whole court, and he had it hit it right back to Dave Chapman. And I like how Dave stuck his hand out just enough to let the referee know that he was trying for it.
What a huge error there for Nadi. All Nadi has to do is just paddle that ball back down the left here. If he just comes in, Dave, with a soft swing, hits the ball in the middle of the front wall and directs it down the right, the point's over.
I agree with Nadi's argument here, too. I mean, he's taken the shot, and the referee's going to allow him to take the shot.
I believe it's good. It's a terrible shot.
Not sure what Nadi's arguing about here. There is an argument, though, that Dave is in such a bad position that
it's an avoidable no matter what. I mean, you can say that, right?
Right.
Because he's not laying down. He's on all fours. The referee's letting him take the shot, but it still could be called an avoidable.
Right.
He has to get out of the way. He has to lean, at least fall down to the ground and let him take the shot, right?
I agree with you. He did seem like he lifted up just a little bit there.
I mean, the other three.
I actually think it wasn't a hinder. I think Dave was stuck in a bad spot and, just couldn't get up from there. And now it's Dave with a...
But he could have got down from there.
Right.
He stayed on all fours, so he was technically in his way. Nadi has to take a step over him. Referee is letting him play, but my argument is Dave is still not trying to get out of the way.
The last point on that shot there, Dave retrieved the ball from his knees, ended up sort of on all fours there, and then didn't have to lay down there from there. But now it's Dave Chapman leading 7-6. Make that 8-6 after Nadi has a nice look there at a left-handed left corner kill fading away but misses it.
8-6.
Nice lob serve there from Dave. Nadi goes for it, doesn't get it, and Dave right in his wheelhouse there. That's the exact shot that Dave wants.
Timeout, Nadi, 60 seconds.
And this will be really a spot here where Nadi has to dig as deep as he's ever dug. He'll have to get that shovel out, Dave, and just keep going, digging, because he's trailing now 9-6. And don't forget, just about 3 minutes ago, it was Dave Chapman on the ground, Nadi with the open court with a great look at an easy passing shot, and a slight miss-hit and a hinder call by our referee. And now it's Dave Chapman leading 9-6.
This timeout brought to you by GAA Handball. They have it going on right now. Outstanding junior handball programs in Ireland. Arguably the best players in the world are part of what makes GAA Handball stand out and be apart from the rest. They are going to host the World Handball Championships in October of 2012. You can find all of the details at gaahandball.ie. Go there now and check them out.
9-6.
9 serve 6. Dave Chapman serving tiebreaker to 11 points versus Nadi Alvarado. Nadi loses the first one 21-14, but comes back and wins 21-9 in game 2. Dave Gets that second point there.
Look at these incredible paddle kills from Dave. Dave missed 2 paddle kills early in this tiebreaker, has since made 6 consecutive paddle flat kills to arrive at match point here.
Strange that Nadi gave that return to Dave, and
Dave somehow missing that shot with his right hand. Nadi totally out of position there. That was obviously to win the match.
6-10.
6 serves 10.
In my opinion, Nadi will need to run off 5 consecutive points here, because if Dave gets back into the box, I predict he'll score in his first inning.
Second serve. Nadi likes to go behind himself on these serves, but it is kind of tricky. There it is. He goes behind himself and he sets up for the
big setup here. Huge mistake from Dave. And Nadi doesn't do enough with it. And now it's Dave back in the point. And a good shot there from Nadi. It's now Nadi trailing 7-10 here in the tiebreaker after a beautiful left-handed cross-court kill with Dave pinned on his left. Dave made 3 very poor shots by his standards in that rally.
7-10.
7 serves 10. This is going to be a big setup. And Nadi misses the ball down the right wall. He looks back into the crowd and smiles.
That could be the shot that defines Nadi's career at the USHA 4-Wall Nationals right there, Dave. He makes this shot. He's serving at 8-10 in the tiebreaker with a great chance to go on and possibly win this match. Now it's Dave Chapman serving at 10-7. That's basically like missing a 1-foot putt, Dave, on the 17th green on Sunday when you're down by 1. Very hard to come back from something like that.
10-7.
I don't see Dave wasting another opportunity here. And here's a setup for Dave. And he gets it.
Dave Chapman advances to the finals once again for the 3rd straight.
Did so much preparation here and just comes up 4 points short here in the tiebreaker.
That is a very frustrating loss, obviously, for Nadi Alvarado and his camp, as he really prepared for this, but a great win for Dave Chapman and those fans that he has come accustomed to all around the United States and the world as he travels around and does those clinics. Hopefully we'll get David Chapman on the microphone, as Ashley Moeller, our correspondent today, is courtside conducting interviews, and we'll definitely go to her if we can round up Dave Chapman, who exited the court and the facility rather quickly here.
Actually still in the facilities outside of the court area.
We're going to take a real quick timeout here. And we'll be back in just a few seconds as we coordinate possibly a player interview with Dave Chapman and Ashley Moeller. We'll be back in just a few minutes from Fridley, Minnesota. WPHLive.tv. Stick with us.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has helped teen athletes accomplish their dreams. Help us continue our work. Donate today. Thank you.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
And we are back from Fridley, Minnesota. Lifetime Fitness for the 61st United States Handball Association's Four-Wall Nationals. Ashley Moeller is courtside with our champion, David Chapman. Ashley?
Thanks, Dave. I'm here with David Chapman, a finalist in the USHA 61st Nationals. Dave, how do you feel after beating Natty Alvarado in a tiebreaker?
Well, I feel pretty good. I haven't been drinking any alcohol, and I've been training quite a bit. Although I'm, a lot of pounds overweight, I'm still my condition. I'm still fairly fresh. I feel good. I think Natty outplayed me today. I just made the shots when it counted.
And what do you do to prepare yourself for the finals tomorrow against the winner of Garner and Lenning?
I'm going to go have some booze and beer with Rick Hatcher.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave.
All right. You're welcome.
Here's a guy who says that he stopped drinking in preparation for this, and then to prepare for the finals, he says he's going to go out with Rick Hatcher. That's David Chapman alongside Ashley Moeller courtside. We have Alan Garner and Sean Lenning coming up next. This is going to be a very entertaining match for us here in the webcast booth and for you. Please tell your friends to tune in to the live webcast at racefor8.com. If you can, get on your favorite social network site and post a link to their wall or email your associates that have never watched handball and try to convert them. I know that in offices all around the world, people have talked about playing handball, and the people in the fellow coworkers in the office will either make fun of him or wonder what the heck that sport is. Well, you have a chance to showcase it. It's free today at racefor8.com. You could watch. You can also add a little credibility to all those stories that you've been telling about the sport to your fellow workers who've never watched it played. Go to racefor8.com and send your friends there as well. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. You stick around. For Chris Garrad, Ashley Moeller, Jeff Kastner, Dave Fink, and the rest of the crew, my name is Dave Vincent, live from Fridley, Minnesota for the United States Handball Association's Four-Wall National Handball Championships. We'll be back